false information being spread by Western countries is one of the major challenges currently faced by Palestinians in the ongoing conflict between their nation and Israel. The two-state solution is believed to be ineffective in bringing an end to the persistent conflict. Kai Vilan reports.
One of the significant challenges currently facing Palestine is the false information propagated by Western nations regarding the true situation in Gaza and the people living there. Palestinian journalist and activist Afaf al-Najjar stated this in an exclusive interview with SMNA News. Afaf currently resides in Gaza and believes that many people around the world are unaware of the root causes of the conflict between Palestine and Israel.
When it comes to journalism, also one of the challenges that we as Palestinians face is how social media outlets and the Western media tries to support the Israeli propaganda when it comes to the narrative of the Palestinian cause and the type of, the words they choose to use when talking about the conflict or the Palestinian struggle. For example, there was this Twitter post in which they were saying that a number of Israeli people were killed, and then a number of Palestinian people are dead. So your people were killed, but our people are just dead. They just somehow died. We don't know how they died. So the terminology that the Western media is using and the shadow banning that is happening to our social media accounts is one of the things that we struggle with deeply when it comes to telling people what is going on and what's happening with the Palestinians and the Palestinian cause.
She also pointed out that the true number of casualties caused by the conflict is not being reported because for Israel it would make them look weak, and for Palestinians they don't have the right source of information.
Now, when it comes to the Israeli side, Israel and the Israeli government doesn't necessarily want to give numbers to begin with, because the more the numbers are, the more it shows that they've been defeated, and they don't want that because that means that the Palestinians were able to get into their system, were able to get in to get through to them, and that is something that the Israeli occupation doesn't want because they don't want to look weak in front of their big supporters, as well as they don't want to look weak in front of their people. But when it comes to the Palestinians and the numbers with the Palestinians, it's one of two reasons. The first reason would be we can't get the information to people. We're not trying to hide the information, the opposite completely. So the first thing would be we can't get the information to people, or when it comes, for example, to the number of people who were murdered and the number of people who were injured, I can tell you the last statistics I got were 560 people were murdered, including women and children. But this is the number we were able to find. There are more people under the rubble who are either dead, they were killed, or they're injured that we can't get to yet because even the firefighters in the Gaza Strip don't have enough equipment to deal with the amount of destruction that is happening in the Gaza Strip at the moment.
Journalists in Gaza are also not safe, as they are among the first targets of Israel.
Okay, so when it comes to safety, not just journalists, no one in the Gaza Strip is safe. Mm-hmm. But to give you more context into why journalists specifically are not safe, the Israeli occupation has been targeting journalists for as long as I can remember. And one of the biggest examples I can give is Shireen Abu Akleh, who is, by the way, an American citizen, supposedly, or she holds the nationality, the American nationality. Mm-hmm. They have always been systematically targeting journalists in Palestine. The latest of which I could share with you is one of Al Jazeera reporters who was in the West Bank near the Gaza envelope. She was reporting to Al Jazeera. She was talking about what's going on, and settlers, Zionist settlers, came. They told her to shut up. They said bad words to her, and then they started playing very loud music to kind of confuse her and stop her from being able to speak. So this is when it comes to the safety of the journalists in Palestine, and whether it's in Gaza or outside of Gaza. Obviously, in Gaza, airstrikes are everywhere. You could literally die at any second.
Civilians are taking refuge in schools and universities to avoid Israeli bombings. This situation is not widely known to the public because many journalists in Gaza are not fluent in English.
When it comes to the safety of citizens and civilians themselves, we've always known that citizens of the Gaza Strip usually seek shelter in UNRWA schools because they're UNRWA schools. They're an organization from outside of the Gaza Strip. They're a UN organization. So their schools should supposedly be safe. But unfortunately, the Palestinian citizens were surprised with an attack on UNRWA schools, as well as ambulances, residential towers, universities, and so on. So it's not safe. When it comes to the access to information, I believe that it is kind of hard to get correct information, especially with the misleading that the Israeli occupation tries to practice against us. But what's even harder is the fact that there is so much information that is being shared every single second that we cannot keep up with. And the thing is, there are not many journalists who can speak in English in the Gaza Strip. There are not many journalists who can go into interviews and talk about what's going on in English. Aside from all of that, there's electricity shortage, the Wi-Fi doesn't work. So all of these challenges together make the crisis, the humanitarian crisis, and the journalistic crisis in the Gaza Strip even worse.
It is not clear if a ceasefire will be established, as residents of Gaza expect the situation to worsen, and they are prepared to fight for their nation's freedom.
I'm not sure whether it's not clear really whether there is going to be a ceasefire, whether this war is going to end. What is shown through the media and what we expect is this is going to only get worse for both parties, by the way. However, it's for us, for the Palestinians, we're fighting for our country.
Kai Vilan, SM9 News.